inflation in Nigeria has decelerated for an 8th consecutive month. Here's your headline, 14.45. Month on month, though, we did see the tick up to 1.2. Food inflation did decelerate from 13.1%, this is year on year, to 11.08. And core, when you strip out your volatile food and energy, that at 18.04 there year on year. And there, of course, is the chart showing the deceleration with your food inflation, the orange bar, and your headline inflation in blue. Also, month on month, we're seeing a bit more movement here. We actually did see some deflation in September and October for food inflation, falling there in the negative region, prices falling, and then, of course, headline there in blue. And also, just eager to get Chika's thoughts on this, because I've told everyone, as everyone knows already, Chika Mbonu is an aviation analyst, as he is a banking analyst and oil and gas. So airlines justify sky-high fares amid public backlash. We did talk about this on the morning show. We felt this headline was a bit unfair, but let's get Chika's thoughts. He's with us right now, Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, it's good to see you again, sir.
How are we today?
Happy Youth South season. Very, very good. You're welcome, sir. Compliments. Please have a seat. Let's hear your thoughts on so much to discuss this morning. I guess let's start with inflation, just to get your quick thoughts on what you've seen with the latest inflation figures.
I mean, we have been having, this is the 5th month.
8th now of the year of it coming down.
Coming down.
Yeah.
And initially, the issue has always been, how this concern me, how will it affect the total cost of jollof rice?
Yeah.
Because we didn't feel the impact of the coming down of the inflation figures initially. Of course, we know about the lag effect, when we talk about economics. But I must say that interestingly, consistently, in the last 1 or 2 months now, we've been seeing it in the reduction in the price of food items.
Right.
At the retail end, especially. I mean, I know the price that the people in my house used to collect for the price of a bag of rice.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, near 100. And the last time, he collecting a collector, but instead of 95,000, I think it cost about 65,000 naira bag of rice, and a couple of other things, the vegetable oil and stuff like that. So we're seeing this data, that we push out every month, now being reflected in the day-to-day lives of Nigerian citizens, and we hope that will continue.
Chika, last time you said the MPC should hold rates and see how the things permeate, and that's what they did. They didn't actually cut us.
But he didn't give us the credit.
I'm giving you the credit. Now that I must give you the credit for that.
I always say that. Our viewers, if you want to know what's happening in the economy, get on to Arise Television.
Global Business Report with Chika Mbonu. And he will tell you what's going on.
I will tell you what's going on, and you can bet right.
Indeed. So, I mean, we've seen, so I guess, anyway, we have the next MPC is still a while away. I guess we'll just follow the data and just see how things go.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are a lot of variables. Remember, Nigeria is moving to December.
Yes, right.
And this December happens to be a potpourri of so many things. We expect inflows of foreign currency to come into our country.
Right.
Changing the currencies into naira. And then, so exchange rate should moderate, hopefully, at the retail end. And then, of course, a lot of spending take place. And so all those who hope that will not put pressure on the prices subsequently. So we'll follow the figures.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm glad you mentioned debt to December, because that perfectly takes us into transport. Do we start with the rail or your testimony, or do we start with airfish? Where do you want to begin?
I can't hold myself. I mean, the business stories.
Yes.
Sometimes are not just balance sheets. They start with personal experiences.
Indeed.
And I today, over the past 2 days, I had to do a journey to Ibadan. I had the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers had an annual conference. You're
an engineer by trade.
I'm a runaway civil engineer.
People forget this.
People forget that I'm a runaway civil engineer into finance and banking and accounting. So they had their annual lectures, and I was called to be the guest speaker. And the decision was, with the kind of stories you hear sometimes about the Lagos-Ibadan expressway.
Yes.
Should I do the journey by road? And then the air also was weak because they were still working on that in the Ibadan airport. So I had to do the journey through the train. And I must say, Rotus, that I was genuinely impressed.
You were?
Genuinely impressed. Let me tell you why. Because this is, for me, at this seminar I had yesterday, there were a lot of fallen, melancholy Nigerians who are sad that our country is not working. A bit the older generation who have given up on Nigeria. Yeah. And a lot of questions people ask me there. Hopefully I make some comments about the tax people, for the tax authorities, what's happening. Yeah. Because there's a lot of confusion there on this tax regime. Hopefully we'll do a program on that to help our citizens to understand that. Yeah. Because of the fact that a lot of people have given up Nigeria, I believe that the railway journey for me between Lagos to Ibadan and Ibadan back to Lagos, maybe that's the only place that Nigeria works now. And I'm not trying to... this is not politics. Don't do politics, Rotus here. Yeah. Politicians are those who just attack and attack and attack. They don't give the credit. Yeah. So when things work, we'll give credit. So in a country where easy, we find it easy to criticize when things go wrong. When things go, well, are working, we should also talk about them. Rotus, from the ticketing, was smooth and easy. To the boarding, it was smooth and easy. Inside the train was clean and sparkling. Okay. On-time departure. My train was by 4 o'clock. Yeah. It was 3:30 we boarded. By 4 o'clock, not 1 minute after 4.
You're off.
We're off. No Nigerian time, no nothing. The toilet was clean. Inside the plane was everything.
Yeah, you say inside the plane, inside the train.
Inside the train.
We'll get to the plane soon.
Inside the train was that. Yeah. The courtesy was that. There was security with the police people occasionally, subtly patrolling to make sure there's this. And the proper announcements on behaviors and stuff like that. Toilets were clean. Unlike what you see sometimes even at the airport. Right. When you go, you have to pay, patching around to make sure that you don't match on something. Yeah. So on getting to Ibadan, the same thing. Coming back with the same thing. And I'm just commending the Nigerian Railway Corporation. And I was looking for white people who are running it. And I didn't see. Yeah. And these are Nigerians running it, at all levels. And I'm just impressed at what I saw. Yeah. And I commend the Nigerian Railway Corporation. I mean, please, nobody has paid me for this thing. Right. This is just you a Nigerian,
as a citizen. Yeah.
Happy that every day we hear bad news about... At the seminar that I was yesterday, they took light about almost 5 times. And I said, if they don't take light, we're not in Nigeria. Right. So you have those kind of things that remind you of Nigeria, and then you have this trend that you enter, and it becomes another country altogether. Wow. And I have the videos and pictures I took and sent to a lot of my friends, and people said, in Nigeria? Yeah. The exclamation of a lot of people is it Nigeria? And so this commendable. Having said that, Rotus, I have to say a couple of things. And this is for the governor, Seyi Makinde, of Oyo State. Yeah. The access road to the train station in Ibadan is an eyesore. Oh, wow. It's not, I don't think, he spent billions of naira during the Ibadan airport. And I think there are more throughput. For example, the Lagos-Ibadan train has carried about 2 million people. Commissioned in, I think, 2021. It's carried about 2 million passengers. That tells you that there's traffic and that's demand. Yeah. So the more people use that than the billions it's spent on the airport. That road is not much. It can do it. Gotcha. And also, the Ibadan city doesn't speak so well. It's my first time I'm going there. I've gone a couple of states. Oh, really? So, okay. The roads also... I was dancing like Paradisco, in the car for a lot of my journey. Yeah. Journey time. Yeah. So I commend the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Commissioned about 157 kilometers linking Nigerian commercial capital. Yeah. It has about 10 stations along the route. stops at about 10 stations along the road. And about as at now, 2 services every day, either way, morning and then evening.
Okay.
Evening, and more than 2 million people have been carried since this thing started, The train is more than transport. It's an economic infrastructure. And then they should see that as that. And we thought about, even during the last Buhari regime, that's one thing that I supported.
Yeah.
A plus for him that they were launching a national train framework. And I don't know what happened since this new administration came into it. I guess they needed to focus on more on road. It cuts travel time drastically between Lagos and Ibada. It reduces road congestion.
Yeah, exactly.
Road congestion.
That's the whole point, yeah.
Accidents and logistics stress. It connects students, traders, professionals, and families efficiently. Every minute saved on transport is productivity gained. And people should know that. And when productivity rises, cost for stress reduces, and quality of life of citizens improves. And the other thing also is that it's designed for freight services, routes.
That is very important, not just passengers.
Yeah, it's designed for freight services.
So goods.
Containers can move from Lagos ports inland by rail to that. And therefore, there'll be fewer trucks
on the road. Exactly.
But every time, remember the bad news we hear about the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Right.
Sometimes it's closed for hours because one trailer fell somewhere or other. So those could have helped to do that.
Okay.
And for manufacturers and traders, really means predictable delivery time, which is very important.
Yeah.
And then but let me clear, praising them, success does not mean ignoring improvement.
Yeah.
So we recommend more daily trips for them, digital ticketing, because it's still manual.
Yeah.
Customer feedback and ratings, last mile connectivity. Inside I thought about it already, and the network, and of course the freighting. This is an important road. This is important. Please pardon me.
Well, of course.
It's an important Nigerian story.
Yeah.
Okay. It tells us when infrastructure is well planned, professionally executed, and properly managed.
It works.
Nigeria works.
Yeah.
Nigeria responds.
Yeah.
And people pay, people comply, and people respect systems that work. There was no confusion. People were just doing their thing. The place was cooling. People were chilling, doing their things. This is not about politics again.
Yeah, of course.
It's about institutional capacity.
Okay.
So today I deliberately choose to say this on Nigerian television.
Yeah.
That the Lagos-Ibadan train service is a quite success story.
Yeah.
It requires praise and support and improvement and replication.
Across other parts of the country. Right. Which is, you
have heard me say in this program at time that for Lagos State, for example, the blue line and red line are the major democratic dividends we have. Now, let me hear me talk about predictable time.
Yeah.
And let me tie into aviation.
Okay, that's the Daily Independent headline from today.
Yeah.
Aha.
Okay. Nigerian aviation has been, a problem.
Right.
The number one problem we have there is also capacity. It ties into the story they also have about states.
Yeah.
Are buying aircraft, buying airlines.
To compete with the,
It's not more competition, routes. There's nothing, capacity is not there. That's the major problem we have.
Yeah.
Price, remember when we talk about dollar and naira, we said the price of every commodity, you're first class economists, you understand that. It's determined by the supply and demand.
Yeah.
That's what it is, And so when you have near monopolistic, situation that airlines have, even though there are many, but that's what the kind of market, you can describe that market. You have the price leaves the hands of the users to the suppliers of the product.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Let me also start from the fact that during the season like this, to the east, for example, the buses and the aircrafts from Lagos do full load. When they're coming the other way, coming back this season, sometimes they are near empty.
Wow.
So they double the fare
to cover
for that return trip because the same food the aviation food that you consume.
Yeah.
That's really at the macro level. That's what happens. Each time you talk to the aviation people about that story, they list the same things: dollar exchange rate, aviation fuel problems, infrastructure capacity, human capacity, taxes. Regulatory authorities. All those they exist.
Yeah.
But we have had some, semblance of, calmness in the aviation fuel market now with the coming on stream of Dangote refinery.
That's right.
That's helped.
Yeah.
So we have the stability in the foreign currency. At least in the last 1 year.
Yep, that's right.
We've not had that. So those, if you are doing the delta and mathematics, you find they're almost constant. So the issue, therefore, is that the impact or the increase in prices should actually be moderated. And I think they have listened. Because over the last 2 days, I looked at the fares to the east.
And they've been
moderated. From the 400 levels, I've saw fares of below 200.
Yeah.
And I think they have listened. You know, but it's a typical demand and supply mechanism thing.
Yeah.
Where this one, the supplier. And again, the issue, again, is lack of alternatives. If you want to go to the east before, you could use the road.
Yeah.
Road is, but you see, hear the joke. Do you want to pay GIG 50,000 naira? Therefore, you have to have 50 million naira set aside for ransom. Or you want to pay 400,000 to APs and other people.
Right.
And that's that.
Yeah.
Do we have problems in Nigerian aviation? And the problem, yeah, of course, first, the aviation fuel, exchange rate, but those things are getting under control.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be done in infrastructure. There's a lot to be done by airlines to expand the traveling net. The issue is that 10% or less public have been traveling. And some people have been traveling every time.
Yeah.
I've recommended to them to try and see how they can expand the traveling net. And that will increase. But aviation is a glamour business. You think there's money there? Rotus Airline. And people just say Rotus has arrived.
It's making money.
Meanwhile, the margins are very tiny.
Yeah.
And Nigerian business people who don't understand it, that's why a lot of them die. Is they enter with that Rotus Airline.
Yeah.
Every ticket they sell, they just bring it. They don't know that the tickets have been set aside for future expenditure. The air checks, the B checks, the C checks, and the checks that will happen in the future. But it's all in all, this is for the citizens of Nigeria. Yeah. The Ministry of Aviation, the government and the center, everyone has come together to solve the problems and reduce the taxes. Yeah. So the citizens of the country will enjoy that. Yeah.
Well, look, you've won me over. I'm going to book a train ticket to go to Ibadan and check it out. Thank you for the testimony. Thanks for the analysis as well. I appreciate it. All right, Business Analyst Chika Mbonu, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.